people home, I feel so safe tonight with all this police protection courtesy of G Unit. Fat Joe, man. Pussy boy.
The internet is losing its mind because 50 Cent just dragged Fat Joe with the kind of energy normally reserved for people who steal your lunch from the office fridge. This isn't rap beef anymore. This is a full-blown, popcorn-level disaster that makes the Kardashians look like monks meditating in the desert. The moment 50 opened his mouth, the entire timeline lit up like someone plugged Twitter into a nuclear generator. And trust me, whatever you think the secret allegations are, the real story is 10 times messier. What started as a quiet rumor turned into a digital earthquake that shook hip-hop from the Bronx to Beverly Hills. Fans weren't just shocked, they were spiritually dislocated. People were rewinding clips, zooming in, enhancing audio, acting like FBI agents who finally got a case worth ruining their marriage over. Every second of this scandal feels like a leaked confession tape mixed with a comedy special that somehow went horribly right. Because when 50 Cent decides to drag someone, he doesn't drag, he bulldozes roller coasters and then moonwalks on the debris. And Fat Joe, he walked right into the crossfire. Sit tight, because this secret did not stay a secret for long. The scandal didn't start with a bang. It started with one suspicious whisper online that spread faster than a rumor in a toxic family group chat. Someone claimed that 50 Cent had been holding onto a secret about Fat Joe, a secret so spicy it made Wendy Williams pack her bags emotionally. At first, nobody took it seriously. People joked, laughed, scrolled, and moved on. But then 50 posted something cryptic, just a few words and an emoji that had fans scrambling, like they were auditioning for CSI. That's when the whole thing detonated like gasoline under a magnifying glass. By the next morning, the timeline was on fire. Rap blogs were acting like investigative journalists, TikTok kids were stitching clips with theories longer than their homework, and Twitter was drowning in memes that had absolutely no business being that funny. Everyone knew 50 Cent didn't throw shade unless he had a hurricane behind it. That man never just hints. He points, laughs, and brings visual aids. So when he mentioned having receipts, the internet practically grabbed a chair like it was story time at the pettiest kindergarten on earth. The secret allegations started spreading in 5 different versions, each more dramatic than the last. One narrative claimed Fat Joe had been hiding something from the industry for years. Another insisted he betrayed someone powerful. And the rest were so ridiculous they sounded like rejected love and hip-hop plotlines. But the problem wasn't the theories, it was the silence. Fat Joe didn't say a word. He didn't clap back, didn't post a meme, didn't even hit a vague subtweet. That silence did something worse than responding. It confirmed to the internet that something was brewing behind the scenes. People started digging up old interviews like they were archaeologists searching for dinosaur bones. Every clip of Fat Joe mentioning loyalty, money, or secrets was suddenly treated like a clue planted by the universe. Fans caught hidden meanings in jokes that weren't even jokes, convinced themselves he was blinking in Morse code, and made video essays longer than college lectures. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was sitting comfortably like a villain in a movie who knows the second half of the plot belongs entirely to him. Then came the post. One single post. One sentence that cracked open the entire scandal like a pinata full of dynamite. 50 Cent typed it casually as if he wasn't about to unleash chaos on half the hip-hop world. The message basically said, when the truth comes out, don't say I didn't warn you. No explanation, no elaboration. Just that, fans didn't even have time to breathe before the internet flipped upside down. People were tagging Fat Joe, reporters, random celebrities, their cousins, and even their barbers to get opinions. Everyone wanted to know what truth was hiding in the shadows. Fat Joe's fans tried to defend him with the emotional intensity of people protesting taxes, but they were drowning in the flood of curiosity. The more they tried to calm the storm, the more 50's supporters turned up the volume. It became a digital tug-of-war powered entirely by energy drinks and bad decisions. One side yelled clout chase, The other side yelled receipts incoming, and the rest of the internet was just here for the entertainment value. It was the kind of chaos that definitely didn't need to exist, but grew anyway because humanity loves mess. What nobody expected was the resurfacing of a decade-old rumor, a rumor so dusty and forgotten. It might as well have been scribbled on a stone tablet. Someone posted a clip claiming Fat Joe had once been involved in a situation that the industry brushed under the rug. A situation that was never fully addressed, never explained, and conveniently disappeared when everyone got distracted by another scandal. Suddenly, people were connecting dots that probably weren't meant to be connected. They treated coincidences like confessions and coincidences like crimes. 50 Cent, being the petty mastermind he is, didn't stop the speculation. He poured oil on fire emojis. He reposted memes, liked shady comments, and dropped sarcastic one-liners that made people scream into their phones. It became the digital equivalent of a rapper throwing gasoline on a barbecue that was already overheating. Fans knew something big was on the horizon, and if 50 was stirring the pot, then the stew was about to boil over with explosive flavor. Journalists tried reaching out for statements, but Fat Joe stayed quiet like he had taken a vow of silence for a reality TV spin-off. Some people said he was just ignoring 50 to avoid giving him attention. Others believed he was preparing a carefully crafted response that would crush the narrative in one blow. But then another rumor dropped, this time claiming someone close to Fat Joe leaked details privately. No names, no confirmations, just a whisper that spiraled into a tornado. Screenshots started circulating, most of them blurry, cropped, or shaped like they were edited by someone who failed Photoshop class twice. Yet the internet treated them as sacred scriptures. People were zooming into pixels, claiming shadows looked suspicious, and arguing about the authenticity of text bubbles like they were Harvard professors. The frenzy was so intense it made conspiracy theorists feel like amateurs. What really pushed the scandal into overdrive was when 50 Cent posted a laughing emoji under one of the supposed leaked claims. He didn't confirm it, didn't deny it, but that reaction alone was enough to set off alarms in every corner of social media. Fans knew that if 50 laughed, something was brewing. He's the type of guy who laughs right before dropping the biggest bombshell in the room. That emoji felt like the opening chapter of a very dangerous book. People began making timelines, charts, bullet points, and PowerPoint presentations trying to figure out the alleged secret. Even celebrities chimed in, some subtly, some directly, all trying to guess what 50 had loaded in the chamber. Rap pages turned into gossip headquarters. Podcasts dedicated entire episodes to decoding the situation. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's silence became so loud it was practically screaming through Wi-Fi. And then, like a plot twist written by a villain with too much free time, an old collaborator stepped into the conversation with a cryptic message of their own. They said, "People forget things easily, but the streets don't." That line set off an entire new round of speculation. What did they know? Were they referring to something specific? Did Fat Joe do something years ago that finally resurfaced? Fans felt like detectives staring at a clue they didn't know how to interpret. 50 Cent kept dropping little hints without ever saying anything directly. It was psychological warfare disguised as entertainment. His comments were vague enough to spark chaos, but sharp enough to feel intentional. Fat Joe's fan base was under pressure, and the internet was demanding answers with the energy of people protesting the finale of a bad Netflix show. By the time night fell, the scandal had grown from a rumor into a cultural event. Everyone was waiting for the next post, the next statement, the next clue. And as the tension grew, one thing became clear. This wasn't just beef. This was a countdown to something much bigger. The next wave of madness hit when fans started tagging every rapper who ever stood within 10 feet of Fat Joe. Suddenly, people expected Remy Ma to drop a dissertation, DJ Khaled to release a cryptic prayer, and Ashanti to hum a clue into a microphone. The internet was convinced that somebody out there knew the missing puzzle piece. Every celebrity was treated like a suspect in a scandal-themed escape room nobody signed up for. And instead of calming the chaos, the silence from every corner only made the situation Feel like the calm before a Category 7 hurricane that absolutely wasn't supposed to exist. Things escalated when a gossip page posted an exclusive leak that was about as reliable as a paper umbrella in a monsoon. But the internet didn't care. The moment the words "inside source" appeared, people acted like Moses himself came down with new commandments. The page claimed there was tension between 50 and Fat Joe dating back years, tension that never fully died, only went dormant like a volcano waiting for the perfect day to ruin everyone's vacation. Whether the leak was fact or fan fiction didn't matter. It poured gasoline on a fire already burning hotter than a microwave set to destroy. Memes took over every feed within minutes. One clip of 50 Cent laughing in a studio was remixed into 1,000 versions, slow motion, dramatic music, anime edits, and even one with 50 wearing Sherlock Holmes hat. Meanwhile, Fat Joe became the unwilling face of when you hear your name trending for the wrong reason. People weren't just joking. They were crafting cinematic universes of chaos. This wasn't just viral, it was pandemic levels of content creation. No one on the internet was clocking out. Then came the celebrity reactions. Not statements, reactions. The kind where people tweet 3 emojis and go offline. But in scandal mode, emojis are treated like encrypted messages from shadow governments. When Cardi B tweeted a pair of wide eyes, social media nearly passed out. When Meek Mill posted a shrug, people decoded it like ancient text. And when Snoop Dogg posted a laughing video without context, the internet assumed he was laughing at this exact situation. Everyone became a suspect, a witness, or an accomplice simply for breathing online during the scandal. 50 Cent added fuel by dropping a cryptic caption so sarcastic it sounded like it was dipped in acid. He wrote something along the lines of "some people should have stayed quiet back then," and the internet collapsed like an old folding chair under pressure. Fans interpreted the line in 12 million directions, none of which had any confirmed truth, but all of which were highly entertaining. Theories multiplied like gremlins splashed with water. What was 50 hinting at? Who was "some people"? And most importantly, why did every clue make the story worse? Fat Joe tried to post something normal, a gym video, a motivational quote, anything unrelated, and it backfired instantly. People flooded his comments demanding answers like angry customers waiting for refunds. Every unrelated photo became a Q&A session he did not agree to host. Even his most loyal fans gently slid into sarcasm, telling him, "This isn't the post we needed today." The man couldn't promote a sneaker without being interrogated like he was testifying before Congress. The internet then took a darker, wilder turn and started digging through old interviews, searching for tension, shade, or even awkward breathing patterns. Someone found an old moment where 50 smirked after Fat Joe talked. That clip was edited into a conspiracy montage with dramatic music, fake arrows, and subtitles interpreting expressions that probably meant nothing. It didn't matter. The internet was now convinced that something happened and they were close to discovering it. Talk show hosts jumped into the frenzy because nothing gets clicks. Like a rapper beef with secret allegations, several channels did reaction videos with titles like "What 50 Really Meant" or "This Ends Fat Joe's Career If True." Despite having zero additional information, reaction YouTubers were eating like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Views were up, tension was up, and logic had left the chat entirely. Things hit another gear when a former associate, someone who hadn't been publicly relevant since Bluetooth headsets were considered futuristic, posted a vague message online. They said, "People forget, but I don't." That single sentence made the internet slam on the brakes like it saw a ghost. Everyone wanted to know, was this person hinting at the allegations? Were they adding credibility? Or were they just trying to revive their career with a sprinkle of chaos? The uncertainty made the story even juicier. 50 Cent kept playing puppet master, dropping comments that were 1% information and 99% chaos. He didn't confirm anything, didn't deny anything, but he danced around the fire like someone who absolutely enjoyed the heat. His posts were sarcastic, sharp, and perfectly timed. Every time the hype began to stabilize, he tossed a new grenade into the ring and walked off whistling like a man who had absolutely nothing to lose. Fan theories turned cinematic. Some people claimed the secret had to do with money. Others insisted it was loyalty issues. A few went full telenovela and said it involved betrayal so dramatic it could make Shonda Rhimes take notes. One theory got so ridiculous that even conspiracy channels refused to touch it, and those channels normally have no standards whatsoever. Fat Joe's name was now attached to theories ranging from suspicious to supernatural, none of which helped his situation. Virtual arguments erupted everywhere. Twitter became a battlefield of sarcasm. Instagram turned into a rumor factory, TikTok transformed into a boardroom of Gen Z detectives, and Reddit became the courtroom of wild overthinking. People weren't just watching the scandal, they were participating like it was the Olympics. Each comment section was a royal rumble of opinions, hot takes, and people pretending to have insider information when they clearly didn't single quotes t. And just when the chaos reached peak madness. A clip resurfaced of Fat Joe telling a story years ago that suddenly sounded suspiciously relevant to the allegations. The clip blew up overnight. People interpreted every pause, every hand movement, every word as evidence. Some insisted he was confessing. Others believed he was hiding something. The man could have been talking about pizza and they still would have said the toppings symbolized guilt. Meanwhile, 50 Cent added another insult-laced caption that broke the internet again. The way he phrased his words made it seem like he was confirming the worst, but intentionally refusing to say it outright. His timing was diabolical. Fans were not absolutely convinced that something real and messy was buried beneath all the noise. New hashtags spread like wildfire, some calling for the truth, others turning the scandal into a meme festival. Hip-hop fans, pop culture commentators, and random people who didn't even know who Fat Joe was all joined the conversation. The story grew beyond hip-hop and became mainstream chaos. News outlets, gossip sites, and even sports pages covered the drama because at this point the scandal had become entertainment currency. Everything spiraled so intensely that people forgot how the whole thing even started. What began as a whisper morphed into a full-blown digital riot. And through it all, the one person who could have stopped the speculation, Fat Joe, stayed silent, letting the rumors build like pressure in a volcano waiting to explode. And the world was dying to know. When the truth finally comes out, would it end careers or start a new chapter of madness? The fallout began the moment people realized Fat Joe wasn't breaking his silence anytime soon. That silence grew teeth. It grew claws. It grew a personality of its own and started walking around the internet like a villain waiting for the right moment to deliver a monologue. Fans were now certain the allegations had weight, because if they didn't, Fat Joe would have clapped back faster than a rapper refusing to pay child support. But the empty quiet from his side only fueled the storm, making the situation feel like the last 10 minutes of a season finale where the camera zooms in slowly for dramatic effect. Instead of dying out, the scandal mutated. Every podcast host and hip-hop analyst became a digital prophet claiming they sensed the truth coming soon. Pages that normally argued about basketball suddenly had opinions about Fat Joe's reputation. It reached a point where even people who didn't know who Fat Joe was were confidently discussing his fate like they were his long-lost lawyers. The rumor turned into a cultural moment, the kind that forces people to refresh their feed every 5 minutes like they're waiting for an exam result they already know they failed. Artists who had nothing to do with the situation started distancing themselves just to avoid getting dragged into the storm. A few posted neutral messages that felt like PR statements from people who saw lightning hit their neighbor's house and said, "Thoughts and prayers." Others vanished entirely, refusing to post anything until the scandal blew over. That's when you know the chaos is real. When people unrelated to the problem shut down their social media to avoid being accidentally tagged into a digital war, the streets began whispering too. And when the streets talk, the internet listens like it's overhearing sacred gossip. People claimed the allegations were tied to loyalty issues from back in the day, moments only as remembered but never discussed. Old heads started resurfacing with stories, half-truths, and memories that sounded suspiciously blurry, as if they were trying to recall events through foggy windows. But none of it mattered. Every whisper added layers to the scandal until it felt like a 70-episode documentary narrated by a petty angel. What made things worse was 50 Cent's behavior. Instead of calming the situation, he doubled down. His posts became more sarcastic, more pointed, more filled with that trademark petty energy that could power a small city. At one point, he dropped a caption implying that Fat Joe always knew this day would come, which turned the internet into a tornado of speculation. People interpreted that line as prophecy. They treated it like scripture. They started building entire plot lines around it. The comment section looked like a writer's room for the messiest reality show ever imagined. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's silence had turned from mysterious to suspicious. Fans begged him to respond. Haters demanded he respond. Neutral people just wanted popcorn refills. Days passed and still no statement. No clarification. No denial. Nothing but gym selfies and motivational quotes that absolutely did not match the energy of the moment. Every time he posted something normal, the internet treated it like someone smiling during a house fire. Then the unthinkable happened. An old collaborator finally spoke up during a live stream. They didn't mention names directly, but the message was clear enough to make the internet combust. They implied that the allegations were rooted in something everyone in the early days already knew but didn't want to deal with. That one sentence hit social media harder than a breakup announcement from Beyoncé. People clipped it, remixed it, slowed it down, and analyzed it like detectives with nothing left to lose. The speculation reached cosmic levels. Fans were convinced they were mere hours away from the full truth. Conspiracy threads exploded with diagrams, arrows, and insane theories that made the Illuminati look sensible. People insisted the allegations would change the way the world looked at Fat Joe forever. Others claimed it would destroy relationships in hip-hop. And a few, clearly bored, said it would cause WWII. The internet has never been known for subtlety. 50 Cent posted again, this time with the type of brutal confidence only he can pull off. He hinted that he had been holding back out of respect, which horrified everyone because if 50 is holding back, then the truth must be a nuclear bomb dipped in gasoline. Every word he dropped felt calculated to shake the internet to its core. He didn't need to explain anything. The tone alone was enough to make people reconsider their life choices. Suddenly, Fat Joe deleted one of his posts, just one out of thousands. But that single deletion sent shockwaves through social media. People assumed it was a hidden clue, an admission of guilt, or a panicked attempt to erase evidence. Conspiracy theorists broke out calculators. Fans cried emojis. Haters celebrated. News pages refreshed until their fingers hurt. And all the while, Fat Joe said nothing. The rumor then twisted again when someone claimed a major platform had reached out to 50 Cent for an exclusive interview about the allegations. Whether the report was real or not didn't matter. It spread like wildfire. People started counting down imaginary dates. Every account with a blue checkmark became a source. At this point, logic left the chat and blocked everyone on its way out. The narrative became bigger than the truth, bigger than the allegations, bigger than both artists combined. It turned into a spectacle, a digital circus where clowns weren't hired. They volunteered. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had an angle. Everyone acted like they were witnessing history. And honestly, in a bizarre way, they were. The internet had created a monster out of whispers, sarcasm, and one very well-timed emoji. When a rumor reaches that level of chaos, the aftermath becomes inevitable. Fat Joe's reputation started taking hits in places it didn't deserve. People questioned his loyalty, his past decisions, even his personality. Memes painted him as a villain one minute and a victim the next. He was portrayed as a mastermind in one post and a clueless bystander in another. The internet couldn't decide what version they preferred, so it kept all of them. Consistency was not invited to this scandal. The situation spilled offline when radio hosts and industry insiders chimed in. Some defended Fat Joe, insisting the allegations were blown out of proportion. Others teased that there were layers to the story. Everyone spoke with the energy of people who knew something but weren't legally allowed to spill it, which, naturally, drove fans into deeper chaos. When grown adults start talking in hints and metaphors, you know the nonsense is reaching peak levels. And just when it felt like the saga was reaching its final chapter, 50 Cent dropped one more message, short, cold, and perfectly timed. He wrote, "We're not done yet. That was it. No hashtag, no emoji, no explanation." The internet screamed. Social media crashed under the weight of refreshed timelines. People begged for the truth, begged for the details, begged for an end to the suspense that had ruined their productivity for an entire week. But cliffhangers are powerful, and 50 knows exactly how to use them. The story ended not with closure, but with a door left wide open. A door that promised more smoke, more revelations, and more drama waiting just around the corner. Because in hip-hop, when someone says we're not done, it means the real explosion hasn't even happened yet. And if you made it this far without dropping your phone, spilling your drink, or Googling "what did Fat Joe do?" then congratulations, you are officially part of the elite chaos-loving community that thrives on scandals hotter than a frying pan in July. This story isn't over, not even close. If 50 Cent says we're not done, you better believe there's a whole sequel loading in the background. Like a toxic ex typing a paragraph at 3 a.m. And trust me, you don't want to miss the moment the next two drops. Because the internet is going to break in half. So before the next wave hits, smash that like button like it owes you rent. Hit subscribe like you're dodging drama but secretly can't live without it. Drop a comment letting me know what you think the real truth is. Because honestly, some of the theories y'all come up with are better than anything Hollywood has written in 20 years. Go ahead, speculate wildly. This is a judgment-free zone as long as it's entertaining. Turn on notifications too. Unless you enjoy being the last person in the group chat to hear about chaos erupting online. This channel stays dropping fresh scandals, messy leaks, wild allegations, celebrity meltdowns, and everything else your guilty pleasure heart craves. Why wait for someone else to tell you what happened when you can witness the disaster here first? Stick around, because the next scandal is already knocking on the door. And trust me, it's louder than 50 Cent on a petty streak. Scandal spark, where the drama never sleeps. Drama never sleeps.